Hey all you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Company of Heroes 2 Tips and Tricks. Today we'll be looking at this ability right here, the Anti-Tank Overwatch ability. The Anti-Tank Overwatch ability comes with these two commanders that you can see here on the screen. We have NKVD Rifle Disruption Tactics and Defensive Tactics. The ability unlocks at 12 command points, costs 200 munitions, lasts for 45 seconds and has a 95-second cooldown. Now, it works by bombing any vehicle within the target circle as long as you have vision on the enemy vehicle. The longer the vehicle stays within the circle and you maintain vision on it, the more intense the bombing will be. You can also place this targeting circle through the fog of war. Now, enough talking, let's head on to the battlefield, shall we? Alrighty then, so here we are on the battlefield where we will quickly demonstrate the Anti-Tank Overwatch ability and just how powerful it really is. Take a look. Not long after the ability was activated, the artillery shell starts dropping, and the longer it stays within the circle and you have vision, the more intense the artillery bombardment will be, as evident by the King Tiger is actually being slaughtered. And a couple of more seconds, then it will be dead. Notice how some of the shells, they do not hit and they do not necessarily penetrate. So they are not homing and they are not guaranteed to penetrate. Okay? Let's move on to the next bit. Alright, so here we are on the next bit. One thing you should realize about this ability here is that the damage doesn't scale. And what does that mean? Well, let me demonstrate here. This time we have a lot of enemy vehicles within the circle. And as we saw last time, the King Tiger was utterly destroyed by this ability here. But now that we have more units within the circle, the damage the ability that it does is spread across all of the enemy vehicles that are within the circle and we have vision on. So as you can see, this time around, the King Tiger is doing just fine. Even the Kubelwagen here is surviving apparently. And there we go. The ability is done. So let's move on to the next bit. Right, so let's talk about how you can break vision in case you want to save your King Tiger from getting bombed back to the Stone Age. We can use smoke. Good idea. In fact, let's just envelop the King Tiger here in smoke. Got lots of smoke abilities here. Just gonna drop him on lots and lots of smoke. Gonna make my GPU really happy it has to render all this smoke. There we go. Smoke has been delivered. Plentiful of smoke even. And we have called in the Anti-Tank Overwatch. And as you can see, despite all the smoke there is on the King Tiger, it's still going. So what you want to do is not to drop the smoke on top of your King Tiger. What you want to do is drop the smoke in front or on top of the Pioneers. That ought to break the sight. There we go. Voila! Our King Tiger should now be saved. So let's just wait and see until the ability here runs out. And then we'll have our Pioneers check in on the King Tiger. And as you can see, it's alive! So the lesson here is, if you want to use smoke to save your King Tiger, don't drop it on top of the King Tiger. You have to break the line of sight by dropping the smoke on the enemy, or at least between the King Tiger and the enemy. There we go. So now let us talk about engine damage combined with the Anti-Tank Overwatch ability. On to the next scene. Right, so what we see here are the wrecks of the Axis super heavy tanks, the King Tiger, the Elephant, and the Jagdtiger. What I've done here is that I have them try to escape the center of the Anti-Tank Overwatch ability with a 100% health, engine damage, and max veterancy. And as you can see, none of them managed to escape from the center of the anti-tank Overwatch ability, even at full health. However, previous testing did reveal that the only tank that actually had a chance of escaping under these conditions were in fact the King Tiger, where it apparently has 33% chance of escaping at full health, maximum veterancy, and engine damage. But, you know, that's not really something you're going to see in game, full health and engine damage. So, anyway, let's move on to some of the other tanks that I've tested. Here we see the Sturm Tiger. It managed to escape from the center of the anti-tank Overwatch ability with full health, engine damage, and maximum veterancy. So if you want to be sure to get the Sturm Tiger with an engine damage, then you actually need to snare it to bring it down to enough health where it should go down to the anti-tank Overwatch. A mine or a ram, which inflicts engine damage, is not enough to bring it down to sufficiently low health to where the anti-tank Overwatch should be able to take it down. But however, snares should do the trick. Moving up, we have the Tiger tank, which is more than capable of escaping the center of the anti-tank Overwatch ability with full health, engine damage, and maximum veterancy. Apparently, the anti-tank Overwatch abilities does around 65% of damage to the Tiger tank here. So you need to inflict quite a bit of a damage to the Tiger tank in order to ensure that it can't escape from the center of the anti-tank Overwatch ability. And the Panzer IV, yeah, well, I've seen it go down to the anti-tank Overwatch at full health, engine damage, at maximum veterancy, and other times I've seen it escape with maximum health. So a lot of RNG is apparently involved when it comes to the Panzer IV and the anti-tank Overwatch ability. But let's move on, shall we? In some cases, like if you're playing a team game, you can even combine abilities together with the anti-tank Overwatch. Say, in this instance that we're looking at here, a King Tiger drove over a mine, got engine damage, and was briefly revealed through the fog of war. Then what you can do and your teammate is mark the vehicle, call in a recon overflight, and then pop the anti-tank Overwatch. The extra damage and the vision that these two abilities provide should be enough for the King Tiger to go down. Well, I think that's it for this time, folks. So if you learned something new, be sure to hit the like button, maybe even subscribe. I primarily post Company of Heroes 2 cast, so yeah, check it out if you already haven't.